Good evening, everyone, and blessed be. Welcome back to another episode of The Witches Connected. I am your host, Aries StarWind, and this is going to be part two of our three-part segment for our great Halloween special. So, yesterday we did my top 5 favorite witchy films of all times, and today, part 2 of 3, we're gonna do my favorite horror films of all time. sorry. Yeah, look, it's Halloween season. I get into Halloween, and this is just what happens. Okay. So, my witchy list. That was great. That was a lot of fun. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna make this a 3-part session, and before we get back into our main titles of readings at the witching hour, but I thought this would be really fun to break it up before we get into chapter 2 of that. So tonight, again, we're gonna do my favorite horror movies, and then to wrap it up tomorrow night, we are going to do my favorite fantasy films of all times. All right, so tonight, again, these are my top 5. I got a pretty good list here, I think so, and I want to know what everybody, I want to know what you guys think and what your favorite 5 are. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get cracking here. So for my numero 50, this movie, when it first came out, it was kind of groundbreaking, because it was it was originally a Japanese film, and it was remade into an American film, and this was kind of the first, I think this was the first kind of film that did that for Hollywood, like American films. They kind of like transformed the Japanese horror into American. So the first one, my number 5, The Ring. Yes, I did. Oh God. All right. So this one, I watched a lot of TV. Okay. So thinking about, and even before I saw this movie, like growing up, one thing that always scared me was that snowy, like when the TV goes out and you see the snowy stuff on there. And I think that was because of Poltergeist. When Poltergeist was out, that just freaked me up. Carol Ann's friggin' talking through the TV. So when The Ring came out, and when she freaking came out of that TV, the whole movie was like eerily creepy anyway, because the video itself is twisted and weird. And then when she came out of that TV, okay, and she got all glitchy, and then she moved like all glitchy, and then it was just it freaked me out. It was really scary. And then like when she came out of the TV and her hair split apart and you saw her face for a little bit, whoo, man, yeah, that got me. That was definitely one that made me lose a little bit of sleep. You know what I mean? So sorry, neighbors are loud. Sorry, but yeah, it was definitely when that happened, I was freaked out. And then like when she came out of the well and she was doing that weird little crawl thing, but yeah, Japanese horror, like it actually kind of made it an impression on us, obviously, because after that came The Grudge, and The Grudge was good, and they kind of took it like they always do and made like 2 or 3 films too many, but I still liked it. So The Ring, definitely my number 5. All right, my number 4. Now, I don't like, one thing you'll know about me is, as far as horror movies go, I'm not big on slasher films. Like, I'm not big on Jason and Freddy and Michael and Tom and Jerry and Chris and Bob. Like, I'm not really into slasher movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I kind of liked it, but it just never really, I never really been into them, and they definitely never really scared me. They were more like entertainment. But as far as like gore goes, this was probably the only really gory movie that I liked, and I actually love it. And it's mainly because of the villain. This is my favorite horror villain, definitely of all times. I'm gonna go with number 4, Hellraiser. Yes, gotta love me some Pinhead, man. Pinhead and his quotes, like his quotes were just so dark, and they like, yo, that's a little too far, man. You ain't gotta say all that. Like, you could have just said like, no, we're not gonna be cool. But nah, he always took it like one step biblically too far. Like, but I like that about him, and he always kept that cool demeanor. He had that sharp leather suit on all the time. I'm sorry. I loved him as a character. I always did. And that was one, like, I enjoyed every one they made until they started making them, like, the remakes later on in, like, the 2000s. Then, Hollywood's always got to jack up some really good stuff. But yeah, that was my man. And the Cenobites, I mean, come on, the dude with the teeth that like chattered really fast, he was my man. Like, it is great. And here's the biggest thing. Like I said in my last video, back in the 70s and 80s, they really had some crazy makeup artists, man, because there was no CGI, so they really had to make it look real. And like when some of those scenes where like the skin was taken off and like, I mean, it was so good, and you could really just appreciate like the artistic value of what it took to make like a good horror movie back then, man. Definitely one of my favorites. Hellraiser, Pinhead, always gonna be my man, always. All right, number 3. Don't get mad at me, okay? Don't get mad. All right, number 3 has been special enough to make it on my first 2 lists, and I can't not put it on there because it has such an impact on me. And I'm gonna catch some flack again, but the freaking Blair Witch Project, man, that movie freaks me out. It still freaks me out. Like, I'm 32 years old, and I think I'd still have problems cutting off the lights and watching that by myself. It's just eerie and creepy. And, that's what I loved about it. And what was great was you never saw the witch. You never saw it, and I think that's what made it so creepy. It left the entire thing to your imagination. And I think that's what made it so scary, because my imagination can get pretty twisted. Can get pretty jacked up. So I think letting me make my own mental decision about what was really out there is what twisted me up. And again, it was like totally a groundbreaking film as far as the found footage aspect of movies. And then they came out Paranormal Activity and all that other junk, trying to be the Blair Witch Project. Come on. And then they screwed me by making Blair Witch Book of Shadows, which was like an actual Hollywood film. It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't. It was a real movie. Like, it wasn't a found footage film, so it kind of ruined it. And then of course they came out with that complete train wreck of a third one. I think it was just called Blair Witch. And it was supposed to be found footage, but with all upscale equipment and drones and junk. And then they did the curse. They freaking showed the witch. And it was not, oh God, I don't even want to get into it. I'm not doing it. It's just going to upset me. Oh God, it just ruined a perfectly good movie. All right, so number 3, Blair Witch Project. All right, the final 2. These are 2 classics, so I mean, I'm pretty sure one of these is on everybody's list, if not both of them. But number 2, definitely coming in, my little man Damien in The Omen. Ooh, man. Now, I'll say about 90% of why this movie is so scary is because of that freaking music score. That is one of the scariest songs. And I think the song is actually called Ava Satani. So, I mean, come on. You gotta be kind of scary when you make a name like that. But it just was perfect for that movie. It's an older movie too, so they made real good horror movies back then. They don't make them like that anymore. Too much CGI, special effects, and all the bullcrap. The Omen was, one of those religious movies that always kind of scare people anyway. But it was just great. The acting was amazing. And then, there was so many good parts of it, but the best part was I won't say the best part, but the part that really gets you, is at the very end when Damien looks in the camera and then he just smiles. He just smiles because he knows now what he is, and he's like, I got this. I am what I am. Oh no, I think No, I think God said that, didn't he? Yeah, in the burning bush or something like that. I am what I am. But I don't think Damien would say anything like that. He'd probably say something a little cooler than that, actually. But yeah, definitely The Omen, amazing. And then there was that badass quote in it, but I can't remember what it was. But the priest said it before he got like impaled. He got impaled by that long thing that popped off the church. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. It was. I thought it was funny. I don't know. It was a good scene. It was a good scene, regardless. Good work. Good directing. All right, The Omen, number 2, Damien and the Boys. All right, now numero uno. If this isn't on everybody's list, then I don't know what you're doing. It doesn't have to be number 1, but it better be on your top 5. It's the most classic horror movie of all time, the most groundbreaking horror movie of all times, and still to this day, like I just gotta respect it, and it's gotta be my number 1. And nothing has topped it since. I've seen it for the first time when I was a little kid, and I basically crapped all over my pants and never went to sleep for like 3 years after that. Number 1, of course, The Exorcist. Yes, Linda Blair. Man, oh man. You can't even say too little about this movie. It's just, I mean, this was one of those movies where it was one of those ones kind of like how Passion of the Christ was, where people couldn't even watch it all the way through at the movie theater. People were throwing up and having to walk out, and people were literally mentally jacked up after seeing this. Imagine seeing this back when it came out, and like in the big screen, and no movie has ever been like that before. You got this girl. Now, I don't know if the original in the theater showed like everything. I know some of the scenes were like in the director's cut and all that, but like imagine seeing this possessed weird girl, like, doing the thing with a crucifix. Like, I mean, that scene was really something. Like, that was crazy. And then when she came down the stairs, I know that was only in the director's cut. I'm pretty sure it was. But like, I don't know why they always cut that part out of the movie, but when she came down the stairs and she was like backward, she was bent over backwards and she went all the way down. Man, it was good. Good stuff. And then like, but as you watch it as an adult, you could like, even though I still appreciate how great, that as far as what they could do at that time, but like when her head spins around, if you watch it today after, they can make things look so real nowadays. But if you just look at her body when her head spins around, you could just see it's like just this fake prosthetic body. But, it was good. It was good. Back then, that junk probably freaked people out. It probably did. And the green pea soup, and like, it's just a historical movie. Like, it's right. I would go like Schindler's List, Ben-Hur, the Prince of the, what is that? Not Prince of Persia. The one where they're out in the desert. The movie's like 20 hours long. That one, and The Exorcist is definitely up there too. Gotta have it in there. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's gotta be my top 5 right there. So again, top 5. Number 5 coming in, we got The Ringu. The American version of the fantastic Japanese film Ringu. And then we got my man Pinhead in his Cenobites. Hellraiser coming in at number 4. And number 3, everybody's favorite movie, The Blair Witch Project. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I know, calm down. And then number 2, we're going with Damian Marley as a little demonic boy in The Omen. It's not really Damian Marley, okay? It's just Damien. Coming in at number 2 was The Omen. And just for the record, that's only the first one. After the second one and the third one, I wasn't really into. Just the first one. Kind of the same with the numero uno pick, The Exorcist. Yeah, Exorcist number 1, Linda Blair, of course. Do you know what she did? Your bitching daughter. I don't know what, something like that, but that was good stuff. Loved it. I'm trying to think of some like honorable mention horror movies, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head. There's some that I like, but none that actually like scared me like these top 5 did. These are the ones that got really to my bones and chilled me. This is what I liked. So yeah, definitely let me know what all your top fives are. I'm interested because I want to see how many would pick at least The Exorcist. I know that's got to be on everyone's top five, and I want to see how many other people have The Omen on there because I think The Omen is one of those underrated ones. It kind of flies under the radar, but I can guarantee you right now, go on YouTube and put in The Omen song and listen to that in the dark and tell me you're not scared. Tell me. I bet you can't do it. All right, maybe you can. I don't know. I'm still scared of it, just like the Blair Witch. All right, that's my top five, everybody. Oh man, I can't wait for tomorrow night too. We're doing my top five fantasy movies. Oh man, I mean that's as easy as it gets for me. Like I'm a huge fantasy nerd. I probably like more fantasy than I am horror, but it's a close 1 and 2. But my fantasy movies, I'm a strictly business about those. So can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, we're going right back into readings at the witching hour. We're starting chapter 2 of Wiccan Beliefs and Principles. So can't wait to see you guys in these next few days. Keep it cool. Halloween's right around the corner. Make sure you stay safe. And yeah, blessed be. God is blessed. Everybody have a fantastic night.